Hello, Ron Dosick here, Service Manager, CGC Group. And today we're going to review startup procedures for IK and HK units, and this can also be done with certain SKV units and sidewinders as well. But anyways, the form that we have here is very good, and it's something that we've refined over time, and this is basically what we're going to do. We have to remember that we test all the units in the factory, so the startup is not about retesting units. The startup is about confirming operations. And we use this sheet here. We start with the date at the top, the location, the project name. I've just put down our address here, but that you would use the name of the building or the address of the building. The location, we're in the boardroom here. The tech name, that's me, Ron. The outside temp today is 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit, and the loop fluid temperature is 20 Celsius, which is about 69 Fahrenheit. What we have to do prior to the startup, we have to confirm with the site electrician about the building voltage, and that's something you should probably check as well with your voltmeter. Yeah, right here it says check and confirmed by qualified on-site personnel. So make sure that you're qualified and you know how to use a meter. As an example, we're going to use the unit here in the boardroom. I've just listed it as Unit 1 and tagged it as 1. Next is the serial number, IKV 008B4-010X, and the serial number 049496-5018. And now we're ready to start our checks. Okay, the way we do startups, since we're working mostly in condos, hotels, and apartments for this type of unit, is we go through the entire floor and we put it all in heating first. That way you don't really have to wait for the timing of the unit, and especially when it goes into cooling, because then you could be waiting 10 minutes and that's kind of a waste of time if you're doing an entire floor. So what we do is we put it into heating first, either with the thermostat or we use a jumper, this jumper right here. And let's say this is, for an example, this is the first one we've done. We've done the entire floor and now we're coming back here. So our board is processing the W call at the thermostat, the heat LED is on, and the low fan is on, and you can hear the fan running there. Now what you want to do is you want to take temperatures. You want to find out what's going on here. So what we use is we use an infrared device here. Quite simple, pull the trigger and we can see that the entering temperature is 24 or 23.9 or 24. Let me switch it to Fahrenheit, so we'll do everything in Fahrenheit now. This is 75.8 return air, and what we would do is we would go up here and we would check what's going on up here. Now normally there would be some kind of rise here, but since our water loop is so cold, there's no rise. So you would actually see something up here about 85 degrees. So you would have a 10-degree rise from your return air to your supply air. Then what you do is you want to check the water in, which is 72.8. and then the water out. In this case it's still the same, but normally you would see about a 10-degree drop. So then what you would do is you would go to your sheet and you would see that the heating temperature, you would put that in. Let's say that's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. You have your low operation, your low fan operation. So you check that. And the return air temperature is down here. We measured that. That was about 75 Fahrenheit. So now we're done in heating. Now all we have to do is we have to put this into cooling. And that gets done either by your thermostat or with your cooling jumper. So let's put that into cooling. So now we're in cooling, but the compressor hasn't started. We have to wait 10 minutes. So we just check and make sure the Y LED is on and your CL LED top left is on. So now the board and the unit is processing the cooling call. Now, because this takes 10 minutes, you move on to the next one, and then the next one, let's say you have 10 units on the floor. By the time you get back here, this unit will be in cooling mode. Okay, we've been around now to every unit on the floor. We've checked the heating, and we're back to the first one now that we started with, and we're checking the cooling. And as you can see, the unit is working. We can hear the compressor running, and the LEDs are now lit. The CL LED top left indicating a cooling call, the CM indicating the compressor is running, low fan and high fan. So now we're in high fan. We've now proven high fan operation, compressor operation. The red light that you're seeing flickering here, that's the heartbeat. That's a 1 flash, and that's indicating everything is good. Now, the one thing we want to check now is we want to check the air delivery, and we want to make sure that it's cooling. And indeed it is. Now we go down and we check the water in and out temperature. We want to see a 15 up to 15 degree Fahrenheit temperature difference. I'm going to switch it to Fahrenheit. We've got water in at 72. And we've got water out at 82. So that's a 10 degree difference, which is within our parameters. We'll take a look here at the sheet. So now we've checked our cooling temperature. We have 75 degrees Fahrenheit entering, and we have 56 degrees Fahrenheit leaving. That's the air temperature of the delivery into the space. And we've checked our delta T across our in and our out, and we want it to be in the neighborhood of 15 Fahrenheit. It was close to 10, so that's all good. That's perfectly acceptable, because that actually depends on flow rate as well. So now we check that off, we check this off. So we've done everything here. Unit, tag, model number, serial number, ERV if applicable. In this case it's not, so we just leave that blank. We have our return air temperature, 75 Fahrenheit. Supply air, which is actually like leaving the unit and cooling the space, 56 Fahrenheit. The supply air temperature of the heating was 85 Fahrenheit. We have low fan operation, high fan operation, and we have our delta T on the water. And we're all done. We can turn this unit off and move on to the next one.